And now, it's time for the highly anticipated, yet totally unexpected, BlitzBoast! With your host, Grim Knight Springhilgenspelunk. Welcome to BlitzBoast. I'm your host, Grim Knight Springhilgenspelunk, and I'm so excited to talk to you about Blood Bowl, I might be developing a brain tumor. Now, here's what we're going to talk about. What we're going to do is talk about the players that I think are going to the playoffs and win it all. But first, we must greet the fresh meat of the league. Why, not only the new players, but the new teams as well. Okay, now here we go. We'll start off with my first favorite team, the Napanee Nightmare by the Coach Proudstar. My new favorite team. This team is off to a great start. Short term. They could be a big bully in CL or Pro, but in Blitz, they're going to find out there are bigger guys on the block to push them around. Still, you can't ask for much on new teams, and this one can hit and score quickly if need be. And those crazy goblins with their weapons will be the wild card that could either win them their game or be a liability bloat. When I say short term is that they may enjoy a fruitful first season, but with no improvements to their stadium, they're going to find it hard to be a contender anytime soon. Which unfortunately none of these new teams researched or took any advice from the vets in building their team. Blitz is totally a different ball game when it comes to managing a team. And now, coming up next, another newbie, but not new to the league of CL or Pro, is the Badland Rejects by Doomfrog. This team has some growing up to do, but this GM has some big long-term plans, so don't judge a book by its cover here. They're not much of a bully, but a serious high-octane offense for a new team. And usually, when you think a lot of offense, well, that means they have a weak defense. But surprisingly, this team can take a hit. If this coach can apply what he knows from playing different teams in the farm to this team, well, they can be a contender by next season. And that's all you can ask for from a new team. Good luck, Rejects. Next up, a brand new team with a brand new coach who has some reputation in the MML, but he's still wet behind the ears if you ask me. The Crestwood Ravens by Goron. If this team was in the CL, they could be a contender right now. But this is Blitz, and the coach knows this. And it looks like this coach is going for the slow burn, as most coaches invest in drafting star players and develop only a few rookies as they go through the season. Well, this coach is bringing in the method of building used in CL and Pro by getting a bunch of low-level players and build them to his liking. If this coach has the patience, then they're well on their way to get the team he wants. Right now, this team is focusing on punching first and hopefully score quickly enough before taking on serious injuries. Good luck, Ravens. And now another new team, the Sheffield Scorpions by Wheelie. Another new team looking to make a name for themselves right out of the gate. They're using the tried and true formula of hitting hard and scoring quick. And I can't stress that ability to score quick enough, as they have a natural one-turner on that roster, while at the same time can still take a hit. But don't underestimate them, because they may not look like much on paper, but those bashy opponents may not find it so easy to knock this team down. They've got the skills to work as a team, and if this coach is as good on the pitch as creating a solid roster, then watch out, everyone. We got a new contender in this league right now. Now, with all the new teams out of the way, let's talk about the serious contenders going into the playoffs. These are Grim Knight's predictions. You heard it here first, so listen up and listen up good. We'll start off with the US division and start off with the favorite of the team, and then we'll end with the dark horse, who is the least likely to get in, but still get in. We'll start with the favorite, the Stumptown Slavers by Humphreys Magoo. This team has been the favorite to win the championship for several seasons, so one of these days they will hold the crown. Maybe it's this year. These guys hit hard, score fast, and their coach knows how to discipline them to work as a team. I mean, have you ever heard of a Minotaur and Chaos Warrior bursting a hole through the lines for their elf or gutter runner to run through without any shred of fear getting squashed by either of them? Not while my drink is full. Now, with a perfect balance of might and speed, there's no glaring weakness to this team. You take out their main blitzer, Catwing Deathstroke, he has a backup in Dodge This. You take out their main ball carrier, Fental Endbell, he has a backup in Patch Hardbrick. And any one of those players I mentioned can fill the other roles, so what are you gonna do? Take out 4 players? Yeah, right. Not going to happen when he has Warriors and big hulking Minotaur you can't ignore. Good luck, you got my vote. I'm getting drunk as we keep going. Next up, oh, my favorite team at heart, the Gatlinburg Good Guys by RJ Carrot. Why, there's a couple cousins of mine on that team. Let's take a look. A team that can bully you around and still score fast. And now with their War Dancer developing into their main blitzer, his defense just went up a whole new level. Strengths include his big guys being able to take a hit and hit back. And now their War Dancer has tackle to help blitz those slippery ball carriers. Oh, I hate them. He has a wild card with a dwarf that has an identity crisis. Marzin the Strong, who thinks he's a descendant to one of the great Blood Bowl players, Hugo St. Marzin the Quick. There's just one problem. St. Marzin the Quick is a stinking high elf. Oh, I keep telling him, Marzin, you're 4 foot and a rhinestone high, and your beard is thicker than my sister Jasmine. You're a dwarf! But don't go telling him that, as that hasn't stopped him from playing like an elf. This short stack flips around like a greased up halfling and catches the ball like it's a mithril gem. This team's weakness is his bench. Once you take down one of his players, especially an elf, his halfling take the void and they're only good for eating up the team's refreshments by halftime. Oh, but still, with my favorite team there going to the playoffs, I'll drink to that. Oh, so tasty. Love the Bloodweiser. Now, the next team that's coming up, the Molinos Great Warriors by Defiance 5. Now, they're going to the playoffs. A team with the first priority is to bully you off the pitch. Second priority is to break your bones. Third priority is to maim you. And if there's no one else on the pitch, their last priority is to, maim any of the fans they don't like. I'm not sure when they'll want to score a touchdown, but when there's no one else to hit, they might cross the end zone while not knowing the football is lodged into the mouth of an opposing player's head that's stuck in between the claws of that said player. So if you're into low-scoring bloody games with tons of mayhem, then keep an eye on this team. His only weakness is his speed. Those speedy teams will run circles around them when they will do plenty of that by running away from these scary goons. And now, another one from my distant cousins that I believe is going to make the playoffs. Dunsford Do Lily Taps by Coach Momo McPhee. This is their year. They bided their time for several seasons and invested heavily into this year's draft to get the perfect team to win it all. Something another team did last year that got all the way to the finals. But that's another story. Yet this coach shows patience and perfect execution when it comes to both long-term deals and short-term tactics to win on the pitch. This team will hit hard, take a hit, move fast, you name it, they can do it. And now with a natural one-turner, the options this team has is limitless. What about cheating, you say? Ha! Well, look no further than Snorzy, who has a hell of a throw with his bombs that can reach anyone, anywhere on the pitch. And if you were the one who said, "What about cheating?" you must be a stinking elf. Because it's not cheating. It's just something you get caught doing that you're not supposed to be doing. A simple misunderstanding. No harm done. Anyways, on to the next one. Making money by Preach. Another hard-hitting team that can score quickly. Except this team specializes in going beyond leaving scratches and bruises, but bones broken and eyes gouged. Yes, you can play this team, and you better expect not to come out of there in one piece. But their coach is now getting his players to listen that there is a football game going on in the midst of their massacre, and they need to try and score too. And with the addition of a new player, Seesaw McGuire, they're ready to take their bashing to a whole new level. Their weakness is wear and tear. This team is beginning to show their scars, and it's starting to hinder their performances. A few more injuries on this team, and they might have to do a complete overhaul in their roster. And now the moment you've been waiting for the U.S. division. Who's the dark horse who's going to the playoffs? Well, you might be surprised, but I'm not. Why, it's the Appalachian Paws by Resner Rules You. The laughingstock of the league is about to get the respect they deserve in making their first playoff appearance this season. I mean, how can you take a goblin seriously? And they have 4 of them, with a bunch of halflings to back them up. But after years of building, they are finally ready to take the next step and make a name for themselves. Like the other previously laughingstock team, they are this year's Beverly Hills Beasts that will surprise everyone and make those playoffs, and possibly further. Their biggest weakness, of course, are those key players that can't stay on the pitch for very long. But with a former pro champion as their coach, they can never be underestimated. Oh, and they awfully do. Here's to you, small stackers. And now we go on to the World Division. The division that keeps winning the damn championships. What's up with you U.S. people? Step it up a game and win something for a change. All right, let's go on to the favorite everybody expects who's going to win and move on down the chain. The Kraft World Harlequins by the coach Girdley. These are one of the 2 teams where the GMs made an agreement to switch coaches for a season, and possibly more. Oh, these ugly godforsaken elves were a danger already making the playoffs every single season. But now they're coached by the legendary Girdley, who's won several championships, including 2 Blitz titles. Come on, man, save some for the rest of us. They're your typical abominations of elves, but with their meditation sessions that helps them harness their inner power, or chi, or whatever you call it. I call it elf BS. Ugh. Well, they can hawk that ball away from you and score behind your back before you can say, "Holy pumpernickel, where's my Johnson?" Let's hope this team runs into a wall. A wall of dwarven orcs. Which leads me to the other team that's coming up. Doom Peak Tunnelers by Coach Thunden. The 2-time Blitz champions are going into this season not being the favorites to win it all, but that is not a knock on them, as this is the other team where the 2 GMs agreed to switch coaches. And this coach is no slouch because he is the current pro champion. Yes, this team is very similar to those Lily Taps coached by Momo. They can do it all. Hit, take a hit, score fast, and you might say, cheat with weapons. You stinking elf lovers. I call it innovation. I'll drink to that one. Oh, I got a good buzz going on here. Oh, that Bloodwiser's good. It's so good. Let's keep going. Though try explaining the meaning of the word innovation to a goblin, you're more likely to get hit by one of those weapons. Now that we got the two powerhouses out of the way, let's talk about the rest of the serious contenders. The 5 Falcons, coached by Hosea Frost. A former Blitz champion, this team has never lost its glory and always demands your respect. And mostly a human team, might I add, for the exception of 4 players. Yes, they may not be a fast team, but they're one of the best running teams you'll find in Blitz. Watch out when they have the ball because you'll find it very difficult to take it away from them. And their defense is no laughing matter. In fact, that's their strength. Probably the fastest all-around defense you're going to find. They may not look like it on paper, but their coach has proven those shortcomings are made up by his craftiness. And we have a celebrity on the team. One of the stars in The Jungle Book. Baloo is on the team. He couldn't get any more work as an actor after Tailspin was canceled, but has turned to Blood Bowl to let his inner demon loose on the pitch. I want to take advantage here and hope to see if Baloo is watching, that if he can teleport me a signed autograph photo, I'd much appreciate it. Thank you, Baloo. But on to the next team. The Tiger Bay Tramplers by NTB. The current Blitz champion is being called upon to defend their title. Their chances are looking good as they will once again make the playoffs with a team that is just all around solid with little to no glaring holes in their roster. Their biggest weakness is the lack of depth in their roster. One knockout and they're immediately outnumbered. And we all know loners who come up as a stopgap to play in Blitz is a big disadvantage. Still, that has not stopped their coach to win it all last season, and it sure will not stop him to try and keep his claim on the title. And we also have another celebrity on his team as one of the major characters from the famous story. Robin Hood is one of the key defensive players on this team, though I'm more of a Lord of the Rings fan. So until Gimli makes an appearance, I'm gonna keep my mithril underwear on. Ooh, mithril gets me all thirsty. A little bourbon there. Oh, that's good. On to the next team. Now, I had a tough time thinking about who's gonna make it to the playoffs, so I chose not 1, but 2 dark horse teams. And let's see which of the 2 dark horse teams that are gonna make it in the playoffs. Well, the first one is Black Forest Unicorns by Coach Clown Zombie. Under same management, but a new coach, this team will finally take that next step and make it in the playoffs. And thank Nuffle, because that previous coach was their biggest weakness. Well, this team may not be able to hit hard. They may not be able to take a hit either. But damn are they ball hawkers with a high-octane offense. Their weakness? Well, that's their bench. Once their numbers dwindle, their chances of winning dwindle the same. Sure, it's expected, and it usually works in Pro or CL, but Blitz is a whole different ballgame, literally. Yet with this new coach, expect some surprises that will be just enough to make the playoffs, get some major cash flow, and come back stronger next season. Now, the last dark horse, though another wild card that's gonna make the playoffs. Here you go. You're gonna be surprised. It's a doozy. The Hamlin Renegades by Coach Power. The second dark horse team is a long shot, but somebody's got to claim the 6th seed. And I wanted to pick the craziest, most off-the-wall team that could surprise everyone out of their orc leathered pants. I mean, have you seen Little Mo Flanders? Talk about someone obsessed with genetic experiments. That rat must have taken more drugs than Keith Richards. What is he supposed to do on the pitch? I have no sober idea. Might as well get drunk to answer that one. Yeah. Anyways, as for the rest of his team, it's built to score some more, and take the loose ball off the ground, wherever it may be, and score again. And if they score fast and often enough, they just might live through the season to get in the playoffs. And that's their weakness. Their armor as a team is thinner than a halfling's biceps. Well, folks, you heard it here by Grim Knight Spring Hilgenspelunk. Who's going to make the playoffs? I call it, so it must be true. And that is your episode of Blitz Boast. But before I go, I'm asking for your participation. What I want to do is get a whole bunch of clips together of the craziest, zaniest, most unpredictable and most impossible way of crazy stunts that happen during the season. For example, like some freaking goblin who blitzes a ball carrier with one block dice, manages to knock him down, and then score with a halfling. Are you freaking kidding me? Bring me clips like that, share it with me, and I will put it on the show for the post-season announcements. All right, team, get out there, make some dirt and blood and score and win for Nathal. This is Grim Knight Spring Hilgenspunk with an episode of BlitzBoast. Keep it here. Oh yeah, that's good. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Now, welcome to the show where I talk about the next upcoming BlitzBoast players. A little burp in there, can't help anybody. Oh well. I might be developing a brain tumor. What the hell, am I gonna have to make a freaking gag reel now? Jeez, I can't get this right. I might be developing a brain tumor. And it fell again.